Everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. It is just under 2 minutes until this fantastic live stream is going to be in your eyes and in your ears. And I promise you, because all the content we do is really good, that it is going to be absolutely worth the wait. We are just now checking our microphone levels, making sure the internet's okay and it's not going to go kaboom on us at any point. We've got the new compressors for the audio, so we're not spiking and not hurting your ears. In the meantime, you can of course check out this incredible piece of Redmen TV merch that we designed. I think you'll agree it's absolutely brilliant. Obviously I recorded this ages ago, so it could be literally anything, but I'm sure it's absolutely fantastic. And of course, don't forget as well, we've got our own streaming platform, that is Redmen Plus. Redmen Plus is the home of Redmen TV and has absolutely everything we do there, from in-depth documentary series to more relaxed podcast stuff like we do on the main channel on YouTube. So yeah, it's not going to be long now. It's around about 50 seconds. At this point, peek behind the curtain, what is normally happening is we're all panicking. I normally need a piss, to be quite honest with you at this point, and then have to run off. And Tom's normally sat in the room going, what's he doing? I've got no idea. Where's he gone? And it's always for a wee, because I've got a really small bladder and I can only last about 40 minutes normally, which is hell when you go and watch a Liverpool game, because they're 45 minutes off, especially when you've had a pint. But it is what it is, and we live where we live, and we've got to deal with what we've got to deal with. And I promise you that this content is coming up in less than 11 seconds time. And yeah, it's 9, it's 8, it's 7, it's 6, it's 5, it's 4, it's 3, it's 2, it's 1. It's your content!
Hello everyone and welcome to the Redmen TV. It's the uncensored match build-up ahead of Mission Impossible. I'm Ste Dan, this is Dan Club, and over at the board we've got Mr. Chris Pajak as well. There he is reading his phone. Hello Chris. Professional as ever. Right then, Liverpool have got it all to do. A 3-goal deficit to overturn at the Santiago Bernabéu. If they can do this, it will probably be one of the greatest, if not the greatest, comebacks in European football history. It's an absolute mountain to climb. Before we talk about the team news, what could happen, changes that can be made, need to be made, etc., etc., we are very much aware of 2 injuries / illness absentees for Liverpool. But rather than us tell you, let's head over to Mr. Jurgen Klopp, who explained all about it at his press conference.
Jurgen, is Ste Dan available to play?
No.
So what his injury is, and Jordan as well?
Yeah, it's just with Stefan, it's a stress response, which is absolutely bad. So he doesn't feel a lot, it's only a little bit, but he's now out for, I don't know exactly how long. We have just to let it settle, and then we will see when he can come back.
Is that a stress response in his foot, or?
No, high up around our doctor.
Yeah, so there we have it. Liverpool, it's Mission Impossible. It's Mission Impossible without 2 of their midfielders. It's actually, if you think about it, it's actually 3 midfielders, because Arthur Melo actually isn't even allowed to play in this competition, given he wasn't registered for it. So yeah, Liverpool have got it all to do. I'm going to get the thoughts of Mr. Dan Club in a moment, but Chris, I'm going to come straight over to you, my mate. So yeah, no Henderson, no Bajcetic. Jurgen's got to try and overcome a 3-goal deficit. Talk to me about how you think he might go about doing that.
I'll do that in a minute, like, to be honest with you. First of all, I want to tell you that I'm really hopeful that Liverpool are going to do this tonight, and I don't know why. The closer I'm getting to kick-off, the more, like, up for it I think that Liverpool are going to be, the more I actually believe that this can happen. And I know it's stupid, but so what? Like, you know, we went into the game against Barcelona, and I know it was at Anfield without Mo Salah, without Roberto Firmino. We had Divock Origi and Shaqiri in the side. It's 2 midfielders this time rather than 2 forwards. Why can't Liverpool win this game? If we score early doors, anything can happen. And
sorry, Chris, I'm going to have to interrupt you very, very quickly, because Liverpool have announced their team. It's actually the team you got behind you, spoiler alert. Yeah. So it is, you mean the bench is massive, mate, so you want to get your
Okay, well, let's go through the team first and foremost. Then we've got Alisson Becker in goal, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Ibu Konate, Virgil van Dijk, Andy Robertson, Fabinho with James Milner, and then we've got Gakpo probably in the 10, I would guess. Yep. Nunes on the left, Jota up front, and Salah on the right-hand side. Goalkeepers-wise on the subs bench, it's looking like Adrian and Kelleher.
Yeah.
Right there. Gomez and Keita. No, it's fine.
You got it?
Yeah.
Keita.
Gomez back.
And Big Joe Gomez. There we go, back in. And then we've got Ox and Firmino. Oh, you could help us tell me where they are.
Yeah.
Ox and Firmino.
Jones is on his own in the middle for you there.
Yeah. Elliot, Chimikas, Jones. Elliot, Chimikas. Okay.
Elliot's above Henderson, right by your leg, behind you.
Who?
Back,
Who am I looking for?
Elliot.
Up. There
Right.
you go, yeah.
Am I missing anyone?
Carvalho, Matip, Williams.
Big old bench, that, innit?
Matip.
You're going to have to put them at the top, mate, so you can even be on the board.
Are we on the board now?
We're definitely on the board, yeah. You're fine.
Right, okay. So the team in full. Alisson Becker,
We might need all those
Robertson,
lads up front.
Virgil van Dijk, Ibu Konate, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Milner, Fabinho, Gakpo, Nunes, Salah, Jota, and a plethora of substitutes. That's the side that I thought, as you know, obviously, because I thought I put it up on the board just a minute ago. Kind of made sense to me that Liverpool are going to have to play 4 strikers in this game because we don't have the midfield options that Steve mentioned. James Milner being that experienced player and more defensive-minded than Harvey Elliott is why I went with James Milner in there alongside Fabinho. Kind of makes sense. This is going to be really interesting though, isn't it? Gakpo behind Jota. I think there was... I had a little bit of a debate in my own head about does Bobby Firmino start in this game with his experience? And I thought, well, if you need 3 goals, it's got to be Diogo Jota up front, hasn't it? And then, can you play Firmino and Gakpo? Maybe not. So that's why I fell on those 4 players. This is exciting though, isn't it? Because we've seen Real Madrid's side as well. They look like they're going 4-3-3 probably with Camavinga, Modric and Kroos. So actually, us having 2 there and 1 there matches up with the 4-3-3 for them as well. You know, I guess maybe Camavinga will be the deeper of the 3 players for them, do you reckon? Yeah. So maybe Cody Gakpo on Camavinga. Kroos always plays that sort of back left sort of position anyway, doesn't he? I don't know. It's interesting though, but this front 4, this is if we're going through, it's because he's played 4 strikers.
Can I ask you a question? Because got a super chat from Aaron Callum Moran. He said, Hendo's obviously a big miss. Do you think he could have risked Naby from the off? No. I feel if we might try and survive the first 15 and 20 million... Sorry, I feel we might try and survive the first 15, 20 and then build from there, your thoughts. So essentially, rather than playing Gakpo as a midfielder, could he have gone Naby Keita straight away? He could have gone Naby Keita, but he doesn't trust Naby Keita. No. It's as simple as that, isn't it? Why would you? You have to pull him off after 45 minutes anyway. That's the way it's been going. So, and that's harsh. So what? It's true as well. Like, it's not my fault that Jürgen doesn't think Naby's up to scratch anymore. He's pulling him off every time he puts him on the field. And then we've not seen him forever since it happened. So I'm sorry, Naby fans, but like, if Jürgen doesn't trust him, he does trust James Milner. Now that's a concern, isn't it? Now you can worry about that all you want. Why is Naby Keita not getting prepared over James Milner? Well, it's obviously something that he's been doing on the field or in training. Yeah, it must be. Got a super chat here from Liam Bento. Thanks very much, Liam. If the Reds pull this off, then Steve, Chris and Dan needs to do every single watch along until the end of the season. Yeah, we're all doing deals, aren't we, with the devil to try and get the Reds sorted for this one. Scott Hawks with the $25 super chat. Thanks very much indeed, Scott. Says, a nuts side for a nuts night. Why the hell not? Let's have a go and see what happens. Come on, you Reds. And then it's Crossbow with the 199 super chat saying, Klopp is playing 4 forwards. He's playing no games yet. He is absolutely going for it, Dan. And there's 2 ways you do this. When it looks like Liverpool are just going to go right. To have any chance, this isn't going to be a game. Because I suggested the other day, you try and keep it tight and try and blitz them. Jürgen's going the opposite way. It looks like he's going, right, fuck it, we are going, all guns blazing, and we're going to try and put the shit up Real Madrid at home in the Bernabéu. Almost impossible to do that, but he's picked a side that he's thought, well, you know, and bear in mind, there's no Hendo and Bacheta, so his hand was half forced there, but it's all out attack.
It is all that attack, yeah. I think if we're going to go through it tonight, we need to get the first goal, and that's a side that illustrates that. People touched on maybe keeping it tight and then growing into the game. That isn't going to happen here tonight. We need to go out all that attack, and we can empty the tank as well. We've got a huge break after this. There's no reason why those 11 lads and the ones that come off the bench can't give everything into this and just have a right good go at it. But the injuries have kind of forced Klopp's hand in a sense, but he has also got 4/5 midfield options on the bench. So this isn't him going, I've got no midfielders, what am I going to do? This is him going, I'm going for the tackle. We've seen it at Bournemouth a little bit, so he's already showed his hand a touch. I'm not surprised. That's the team I would have gone with. That's the team I put out on our website last night. I'm absolutely all for it, to be honest.
Yeah, like I say, He is choosing to play that attacker. He could have played Chamberlain, he could have played Keita, he could have played Jones in midfield, of course. He had options there early. Harvey Elliott, obviously. There's a lot of players there as well. So yeah, this is a choice. Steve Ryder says, against Barca, we had no Salah and no Bobby Firmino, and then up popped Divock Origi. Come on, boys, we can do it. This is a message that Paul Machin, Chris, I'm going to come to you on this one. Paul, ever the optimist, our gaffer, your business partner, he said Liverpool Football Club has a tendency for unsung heroes on special nights to make heroes of themselves, basically. And again, we saw it with Barcelona, like you say, Divock Origi, Xherdan Shaqiri, all these lads get themselves on the pitch. An injured Liverpool side, like Steve says, I mean, there's an opportunity here for somebody on that ball behind you to make themselves an absolute hero, legend of this football club, even though half of them already are already.
Are we hoping that Robertson gets injured in the first half as well? Like, is that what's happening here? If Robbo gets injured, it's on. It's on big time.
Benzema falls over and he snaps his head a bit.
I don't know who it would be. Is it Ox that comes on and changes the game up? Is it Kurt Jones? Because I'll be honest with you, there isn't anyone there that's going to make themselves a hero more than they already are. I mean, Gakpo's on his way to doing something. Nunes is on his way to doing something.
I think.
Carvalho maybe, yeah, something like that. Someone off the bench. So yeah, I'm just so excited for this game, to be honest with you, because I do believe that Liverpool can do it. Like, I really do, and I've got no reason to believe that now. But the closer we get to the game, why the fuck not? What are we here for? What are they going for? They've got everything on the line for them tonight and nothing to lose. Real Madrid have got everything to lose. It's on us.
They really have. Speaking of Real Madrid, then let's have a little look at their team. Chris mentioned it earlier. 2 changes from the side that started the 5-2 win at Anfield. So they've got, and they've done it in number order, which is a bit of a ball ache. But essentially, it's Courtois, it's Carvajal, Militao, Rudiger and Nacho as a back 4. A midfield 3 of Kroos, Modric and Camavinga. And then a front 3 of Benzema up front with Vinicius and Valverde either side of them. Rightly so, Carlo Ancelotti, he went to Anfield, Dan, and he played Valverde in midfield and basically did what Liverpool have done tonight, essentially have 4 attackers on the pitch. With a 3-goal lead, he's got a bit more solid. So I know Alaba's injured, so that one was enforced anyway, and I actually thought Nacho did really well when he came on at Anfield. But it's obvious he's gone. He had a decision to make. What he does with Valverde, does he play him up front, does he play him in midfield? He's put him up front, and he's, like you say, he's beefed up his midfield with bringing Toni Kroos back into it. A lot of experience in that side, that's one thing that they have got. You know, again, you talk about rattling teams, that's a lot of experience. There's a lot of winners on that pitch, but it is slightly more defensive than the side that we saw at Anfield.
Yeah, it is slightly. I'm no surprise in that. It's interesting sort of how they approach this, because obviously they're the ones with the advantage, and therefore they're the ones seemingly with all the pressure. It's an absolute free hit for us. But I'm not surprised he's gone with the team he's gone with. Like you say, what it is, and unfortunately what we've seen at Anfield is pretty unflappable. Like, it's hard to get under the skin. It's hard to rattle them. Like, any mere mortal side would have been absolutely overwhelmed by what happened in that first 20 minutes at Anfield. Not these lot, unfortunately. So that's probably the biggest challenge for us tonight, especially given all they've done, really, like you say, is beefed it up. They've added more experience, very more class in Toni Kroos, and Valverde's a wonderful footballer. Like, don't like praising the Oppo that much, but he's class. Like, and he can play anywhere. But yeah, it's a well-balanced side. It's going to be very difficult to get at them. I think the Nacho inclusion, like you say, is actually a strong point for them against Salah. But listen, whoever we're playing tonight, you'd have had the same conversation ahead of the Barcelona game, wouldn't you? You'd looked at our team and gone, it's a little bit mismatched, it's a little bit not all there, but the similarities are there. They're at full strength, we're not. We've got to do what we can do.
Gareth Bird, £5 super chat. Is just me or is anyone else getting Barca vibes? Come on, you Reds. That's the thing with this bloody team. Anybody else in the world, and I wouldn't even give them a chance. I don't really give Liverpool a chance, but I'm saying there's a little voice just in the back here. Just here, just round this little bald spot here. I've only got a little bald spot. It's the whole of my head. But there's a little bit right here saying, you know what, and Jürgen said this before Barca, if anyone can do it, it's this football team. And not only that, Chris, like the Champions League in general, over the years, we've seen some ridiculous comebacks. Again, not just Liverpool. Liverpool have done some of them, but there's been other ones as well. This competition, like I say, there's 2 games tonight. Obviously, there's one in Napoli as well, where Frankfurt are big underdogs. Liverpool are huge underdogs here. It wouldn't be the biggest shock in the world if one of Frankfurt, like, or Real Madrid go through. If you base that purely on the history of the Champions League, it's something about this competition that just forces craziness sometimes.
Yeah, but it would be, wouldn't it? It'd be a massive shock.
Would it? Yeah, it would.
It would be massive. If Real Madrid go out after beating us at Anfield 5-2, if it was the other way round, if they'd beaten us 5-2 in the Bernabéu and we come back to Anfield, it's much more believable. Yeah. And that's where it's difficult here, isn't it? You know, we're going into an 80,000 seater stadium with a team that doesn't really flap under pressure. and with 1,800 of our own fans. That's the difference between Barcelona and this one, isn't it? Is that we were at Anfield, we had everything there, we had the noise of the Liverpool fans. It's not that, and they got controllers in the middle in Modric and Kroos who can just take the sting out of the game, who can take the game away from you, who can take the ball away from you. You know, what we need to do, obviously, is keep it tight at the back, and that, unfortunately, isn't what this side is set up to do. You know, we've got the 4 forwards because we're looking for the 3 goals, but Real Madrid hit you so quickly. It's slow, fast goal. That's what we saw at Anfield. If they do that to us again tonight, it's going to be incredibly difficult for us. You've got to get under the skin. You've got to get tackles in on them. You've got to make them know that they're in a game, regardless of the scoreline. Physically, they've got to know that they're in a game. That's why that man there, James Milner, is going to be massive in this one. And you've got to be able to score goals. You've got to be able to score early to make them think and get in their own heads that they can concede goals, because otherwise they're not going to worry about us. So you've got to keep it tight, and that's probably the hardest thing. I think Liverpool will score goals tonight. I think we put a team out that will score goals, but how many will we ship in trying to score those goals? That's the big problem that we've got tonight.
We were speaking upstairs before, Dan, and like sneakily, Vinicius Junior scored 5 goals against Liverpool. Like, you know, like he's 2 in their training ground, 1 in the final, 2 last week as well. When you played that team, you are giving Trent even less protection. Fabinho or Milner, whatever they do, someone's got a job on to help him. Konate's going to have to be on it as well. But like I say, when you're 3 goals down, there's risks you've got to take. And one of the risks Liverpool have taken here is a lad who's had a real success against us in the past is going to be one-on-one with Trent. And so Trent's going to have to defend well before he can even think about attacking. Yeah. But on the flip side, he's got to really be thinking about attacking for us to score goals. It's a fine balance over there.
That's the hardest thing about tonight, isn't it, really? Sort of how hard do you go and sort of how much you're willing to risk early in the game, because you don't want to be conceding goals like Chris alludes to, because if we concede the first one, that's pretty much night over. Like, we can all probably pack up and go home at that point, because it's impossible. It literally is impossible at that point if we concede early and first. I just don't see how it happens. There's loads of sort of chat about how the formation's going to look in our WhatsApp. I just see it like that on the board, personally. I don't see any sort of nuances in it.
There are other options, though. We should maybe go through them if you want.
I struggle with them, though, to be honest with you. I don't see how we do anything other than that with the personnel. I don't think... I don't know.
Why not?
4-4-2.
Why not?
You're asking...
We need Gakpo the reason he's picked Gakpo is to come back and do the work.
You said there are no other options.
No,
I'm not saying this is likely. What I'm saying is Salah on the right, Nunes on the left, and 2 up front is another option.
Paul Machin, the gaffer, by the way, I'm not going to bring the WhatsApp chat up, don't do that on the screen, but he said he thinks Jota centre forward, Nunes on the left, Gakpo right centre mid. So he's thinking that rather than Gakpo in the 10, the normal 3-man midfield, That's what Paul thinks it might be, like Liverpool sticking with the 4-3-3, but with Gakpo playing the right-hand side of a midfield.
Yeah.
We saw what was it at Bournemouth? It was more 4-2-3-1, wasn't it?
It was 4-2-3-1.
You say it probably was with Pacheco and
we've
Gakpo.
had Jota from the left suggested as well.
You could do it. The likelihood is they're not going to do it. That's I think where it comes down on, isn't it? I mean, it just makes more sense to play Gakpo in that position and ask him to do a little bit of what Paul said and get back a bit more. But ultimately, when Liverpool are on the front foot, he has to join the attack. He has to be more than what an 8 is if we want to score goals tonight. Yeah. And he has to get into that position where the midfielder is worrying about him. And then it's about movement between Jota and Nunes. Can Jota drag a play around? Can Nunes get into a little bit of space? Something like that. Can Gakpo feed those players? I'm with you, Dan. I can't see it being anything other than that.
No.
But obviously it's about finding space, not about what formation Jurgen's picked.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also about players' performance to the level. We saw against Man United, if Liverpool play to the level, they can give anyone a game. If they don't, anyone can give Liverpool a game and take points off Liverpool. Got a couple of chats here. Rabadam has been a member for 14 months, so Coutinho, thanks very much. If we can do this, it's a miracle that rivals the resurrection. But if anyone can do it, it's us. And then he says, also, kudos on the content on the channel. The last 6 months have been tremendous. Thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate the feedback. And yeah, if anyone, like Jürgen said, pre-Barcelona, it's impossible, but if anyone can do the impossible, it's Liverpool. It's this set of play, so fingers crossed he can do it. Interesting shout from Scouse Wannabe as well in the Discord, who says, I just want to see James Milner fly into someone in the first 5 minutes to set the tone. And there's something to that, and there really is. Just go and absolutely welly someone. Don't get booked. Because I was speaking to Steve Plunk again before, and he said, when you play that midfield, you're a yellow card early doors away from having big problems because no one can stop it. You can't stop a counter-attack then. But if James Milner wants to go and absolutely lay one on someone, then I'm not going to stop him. Like.
No, you need to set the tone in one way or the other, don't you? And if you haven't scored early, then it's not the worst thing in the world if Milner does. Yeah.
Who would you like him to boot?
Who would I most like him to? Someone like a Modric, like one of the elder statesmen. One of the elder statesmen said, I'm the boss here. I know you're as old as I am.
I'm your boss.
Like, yeah, you're Ballon d'Or winner and all that.
I'd just boot him for not looking as old as him.
Yeah.
Like, you look 10 years younger than me and you're absolutely not.
Yeah. Two old men fighting in the middle of the pitch.
I think it's a good shout, to be honest with you. I think, like I say, you need to let these know they're in for a game in one way, shape or form, and that's not a bad way of doing it whatsoever. I mean, I'd rather we came flying out the blocks and scored 2 in the first 15, but if it takes Milner getting into someone, then that's fine.
Chris, can I ask you a question? James Milner, 37 years old, playing, as we think, as part of a two-man midfield. The risk off that is...
Here we go.
That's just... Don't do that to me. Sense not playing sentiment. But, no, genuinely... I've always said it's hard to pick a team that you don't think can finish the game. I don't know if James Milner can play. I mean, he might be able to. Listen, he's a machine when it comes to fitness. But that is, like, at some point you might need to take him off. What my worry is if by some miracle Liverpool are in the game, say they are back into it, but Milner's legs fall off, there aren't that many options really. Is there, like, defensive? I mean, if you look at Liverpool's options on the bench in terms of attack of midfielders, they're all of the attacking nature, really. The two more defensive-minded ones we've got are already both on the pitch.
I think it's bullshit that a 35, 36, 37-year-old James Milner can't play 90 minutes.
Okay.
I really do. I think he can't play 90 minutes 3 times a week, but he can absolutely play 90 minutes. Otherwise, he wouldn't be a professional footballer still.
What about 120 minutes?
That's different.
And penalties, which we want him on.
That's different.
Yeah, no, it is.
But you've got to get there. You've got to earn the right.
Yeah.
And if he's not there for that, then fair enough. Like, but people just look at like 30-odd-year-old people who are dead. It's not true at all. Like, he's probably one of still the most fit players in our side. He wins the thingy test every single season. It's about his capacity for continued output, and that's what James Milner can't give us every single week. But if you ask him, when was the last time he played a full 90?
I can't remember.
Exactly, so he'll be fine. Right, yeah. He'll be absolutely fine.
And
also, that other thing that you said about you can't put a side out or you doubt, it's 5 subs now.
Yeah.
You absolutely can. If it was 3 subs, it's completely different. You still get an extra one in extra time anyway.
Yes.
So you've got a potential for 6 subs.
Yeah, there's enough on there, isn't there? At some point you would guess, right, I'm going to start giving you some hope. I'm going to start giving you all some hope. Liverpool, last 5 games they've played on this date, March 15th, the Reds have won every single one of them. 2 of them against Portsmouth in 2010 and against Fulham in 2006. Granted, yeah, lesser opposition. They won by scorelines that would have either got them through or got them to extra time. Real Madrid on this day, 15th of March 2021, lost 4-0 at home, away to Levante rather. March 2022, 15th of March 2022, they lost 4-0 to Barcelona. Dan, we are a Pope dying, a Coronation Street wedding away from this. All the stars aligning for the Reds there. There you go, there's some hope for you. Do with that what you will.
Yeah, if you didn't fancy it before, you definitely do now, would you? Let's be honest. I mean, I'm not the superstitious type, to be fair, but I'm willing to buy into it right now. What are we, an hour and 7 minutes before kick-off? I'm open to anything, to be honest, at this point. But yeah, listen, like we've already all said, we all said it in the build of this game, haven't we? No one would have given us a chance into that Barcelona match, myself included in many senses. Who knows? Just who knows? But so many things need to go right for us, not even just in terms of luck, but our own performance. We need one of those sublime performances from so many key players that we just haven't had enough of on a consistent basis. But like I say, this is the Champions League, this is Liverpool Football Club, this is where miracles happen. So let's just see what we can do.
It is. It's Liverpool, it's miracles, it's all that kind of stuff. Listen, you can look at it both ways. It's Madrid away with a two-man midfield of Firmino, of Fabinho and Milner, and that could make you shit your pants. Or you can look at the positives and say, Liverpool have got loads of lads who can score goals. They were 2-0 up against this very side less than a couple of weeks ago. Don't worry about what happened after that. We've glossed that. That's fine. Don't worry about that at all. Chris, I'm going to come back to you because we've been building up the hope and maybe a little bit of expectation and even a slight bit of delude in this, but fuck it, that's what we kind of do. In terms of matchups on this pitch, What are you looking for? If Liverpool are going to pull off the miracle of miracles, which of those fellas on that ball behind you are you looking at to go, right, you're the man for us?
Darwin Núñez, I think, is the big time player
Up against
for
Carvajal
Liverpool right now. It's got to be, hasn't it? I mean, he's just an absolute monster of a player. He's a chance magnet. Every single week he seems to get into these positions. And if he plays well over the last sort of 2 months, Liverpool have played well. And that's kind of the way that it's gone, isn't it? So if Darwin Núñez can get in on the act early, maybe not put his first shot over the bar or wide and actually put it into the back of the net. Maybe tonight we're talking about him breaking Erling Braut Haaland's record.
Listen, it only took Darwin Núñez a half to score 4 against Leipzig. It took Erling Haaland like 50 minutes.
Shite.
So really, who's the real winner here? Mr. I scored loads of goals in the Champions League and got through to the next round. Whatever, mate. Whatever. That's where we're at with this
Big
one.
Norwegian, are we?
Yeah, get on us. Yeah, I score loads of goals all the time. Make it look dead easy getting through to the next round of the Champions League. Fucking dickhead. Right then, couple of comments on the Discord. Theo here says, can you imagine us being set up for a 4th false dawn in one season if we win this? Yeah, Liverpool's luck would be that would be our luck, wouldn't it? We'd draw like fucking... Who got through yesterday? Anyone shit?
No
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
We'll be by then, yeah. Let's have a little look for this one. Hope burns eternal, and that's why we love this club. It's the intangibles that this club has and why we love them, says Scouse Wannabe. There is a lot of that going around, isn't there, like I say. Comment, Chris, I'll ask you a question from Gmail in 1973. Apart from Bobby, the attacking threat from the bench is minimal. That starting 11 really does need to do the business. If Liverpool are searching for goals later on in the game, like I say, there's not...
Don't be obsessing about what's going on the bench. We've put 4 strikers on the pitch. That's why there's not many strikers left for the bench, because we've decided we're going to throw them all on the pitch and try and score the goals. You know, you can't have your cake and eat it, can you? If you don't have... Well, oh, look at that, right. We've decided to go with that instead, but there's no strikers on the bench. Yeah, we'll have the 5 on the pitch.
Mate, I'd have done that, I think. That looks fucking amazing. Give me that all day. That's like, that could be any score if that team was on the pitch. Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
And to answer Paul's thing from before about the midfielder, wouldn't he have just played Elliott if it was a 4-3-3?
Yeah, easily, yeah. 100%.
No, I'm with you.
He would have done, wouldn't he?
Gakpo's a halfway house between that because he knows what he wants to do in terms of going forward, but Gakpo is also willing to drop deeper and help out, and I think that's why he's picked him. He is Firmino 2.0. I'm not saying anything new there, but we've all seen it now, so that's why Gakpo's in.
It is, yeah. I'm with you, mate. I'm convinced. I don't see the fuss of why people don't think it's that.
No, I don't understand. That's why I brought
Gakpo's in to play number 10.
You're being contrary at best, aren't you?
Yeah. If he wanted to play a right side of midfielder, he's got like 5 of them on the bench. He could have chosen any of them. He could have picked Jones, Keita, Chamberlain, Carvalho, Harvey Elliott. There's loads of them. Cody Gakpo's playing as number 10 and Liverpool. I don't
understand the debate. No, strange.
Right then, I'm going to ask in a second. I'll let you have a little bit of think, Chris, and I'll let you have one, Dan, as well, for a scoreline prediction. Before we get that, we've been saying it all the time. It's highly, highly unlikely, but if there's any side in the world who can do this, it might just be Liverpool Football Club. And at his press conference yesterday evening over in Madrid, Jurgen Klopp kind of shared a similar sentiment. Here's what the gaffer had to say about Liverpool's chances of getting through in what is mission impossible.
What I said after the game was, in the night, 3 weeks ago, Madrid, with the result, Madrid is through to the next round. But now we are 3 weeks later and we know there's a game to play. And if there is only 1% chance, I would like to give it a try. So we are here to play an extremely strong opponent and try to win the game tomorrow. And as difficult as it is, that's probably possible. Not likely, but possible. And for that we are here. And then we will see where it leads us to. So that's pretty much all. We respect the competition too much. We respect the opponent too much to not looking forward to this game tomorrow. To be honest, it's a tough task. We caused ourselves not a great situation we are in, but how I said, I'm anyway looking forward to the game.
First of all, how boss does Jurgen's new haircut look, Dan?
Oh, he looks so good. And he was saying before he had a might glow up. His tan, his beard, he looks on point.
Since he's arrived here, Jurgen has gone from a very handsome man to an outstandingly handsome man. He's had his teeth done, he's had the laser surgery, he's got an amazing tan, he's lost a bit of weight, he's now got this fabulous new haircut. The gaffer is glowing up. He is up. He looks like...
Talking about Paul or Jürgen here, mate.
Mainly Klopp, but yeah, a lot of that can be said for Paul as well. Yeah, he had his teeth. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it all checks out. It all checks out indeed. Yeah. Alex M says Gakpo in that attacking midfield is interesting. Has he ever played there for Liverpool so far? I mean, we saw a little bit of him down against Bournemouth, and I actually thought one of the few bright sparks from Bournemouth, and there were very few, was his ability to pick the ball up, turn and drive that team. I thought, again, he got a couple of lads booked within a space of a few seconds. And again, it's Bournemouth, it's Real Madrid, I completely understand it. But usually when you see a number 10, they turn, and they want to get the ball popped off. He was more than willing to carry it. And on that big Bernabéu pitch, against the side, let's face it, listen, I know that they're full of energy, but there's two older fellas in that midfield. That is a little, you can hang your hat on that a little bit, get the ball into Gakpo's feet, let him turn, and then he's got the ability to run, or he should have three different options in front of him.
Yeah, we've seen him do it quite a bit actually during his brief Liverpool career today. Not necessarily sort of nominally in that position from the start, but he is more than willing to drop into them deeper areas, pick it up, shrug his man off and go, and he's actually shown a good turn of pace in doing it. And if he has three options ahead of him instead of two, it actually opens up more avenues for him. So if he has got the runners, and if Chris has mentioned before, the smart sort of interchange between Jota and Nunes, that could be a really big area for us. He is going to have to act as a disruptor as well, because they're going to want to keep possession, particularly with Modric and Kroos, so he's going to have to get in amongst them and try and win the ball back forward, which is something he hasn't done loads of. But make no mistake about it, he was a 10 on Saturday for pretty much the entire second half. He played as a 10, and I was actually really impressed, because on a day whereby like not many Liverpool lads wanted it, there was a lot of shirkers in there, he wanted to go and get the ball. So I actually really like him in this role, and I've been against sort of a 4-2-3-1 for a while, but now we've got Gakpo, I'm actually really relaxed with it, because I think he does it brilliantly.
Chris Page, I've been talking about, I've worked here for a year, I've known Chris for about over a decade, Chris, and all you ever say about tactics is 4-2-3-1, 4-2-3-1. You must be like the cat who got the keys, and you fucking love it.
No, I love the 4-2-3-1, but it's only because Klopp was so wedded to it in his Dortmund days that's all he played. So I always thought eventually he'd end up going to a 4-2-3-1. Now, I think football moved on, to be fair. I think 4-3-3 was a better variation of what Klopp wanted to do with that 4-2-3-1 when you had the more physical midfielders. But I do feel like since we have lost a little bit in the middle of the park, to overcome that, you could move back to the 4-2-3-1, because you do need three outstanding industrious midfielders to play it the way the Klopp wanted it. And I think that's why our downfall has been this season, is that we haven't had those industrious midfielders who can cover every blade of grass. And now it makes more sense. Well, you haven't got them, so put two and ask them to go sideline to sideline, and ask this lad to find the space. And that's why I'm excited to see it, because there is a lot of interchange in here with all four of these players now. You know, if they were to play together for 12 months, it's going to be better. It's not going to be that, of course, tonight. But he's such a smart player. I think Dan picked up on a lot of what was said. A lot of what Dan said before was absolutely spot on. He is very good at the defensive side of things. He's physically tall as well. He's a bit of a specimen. He's so fast at breaking through those lines. And he seems to understand what's going on ahead of him. He seems to have that little bit of time and space. So I'm excited to see it, of course.
Toby Larone, which is a great username. We should come over on the chat. Says, how old was Chris when you first met him? Then Steve, was he 10? Because you're clearly a lot older than he is. That is untrue and it's unkind. But yeah, Chris does look younger than me. He's the Benjamin Button of the Redmen TV. Look at him in all his. He does look younger than me, but Chris is older than me. But yeah, fair enough. He's got more hair than me, and he probably looks after himself a little better than I am. But thanks for that. It's fine. Not even offended. Whatever. It's absolutely fine. Don't even worry about it.
How old are you?
I'm 35.
Wow. Okay, I'm 5 years older than you. Wow.
I think I'm 35. Yeah,
Look at me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the one. I should be the authority on this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I am 35. Yeah, I am. Yeah, 1987, and I'm not. Yeah, it's absolutely. Yeah, I am. Right then, went to predictions before. Anyway, we'll come back to how old I am and how bored I am later.
I Russian thought you were 50, to be honest.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate that. Is that like workplace bullying at some point? Like there's a HR instance. I'll go and report
it. HR.
Yeah, that's me. Fuck. Right then. Medellino says, I'm going to go for 6-1. Salah hat-trick. Jota opens the score and Trent gets a free kick and Bobby Firmino comes on to get a winner. I mean, I don't know how that works out, but the last goal, I think he means.
Yeah.
And then Dean, T7, simply puts the Make Us Dream flag in there. Nice. Right then, I've held off long enough. Chris, I'm going to come to you first. Real Madrid versus Liverpool. Put it on the internet, Chris, score prediction.
I think Liverpool are going to win this game. See you later, John. I think Liverpool are going to break my heart. I think Liverpool are going to be 3-0 up with 5 to play and win the game 3-1.
Oh my God, Chris, I'll cry.
That's horrible.
That's the
Isn't
worst.
that the absolute worst?
That's the worst case
Oh,
scenario.
mate, I'd rather get battered.
Yeah,
Don't do that to me, Chris.
that's the worst case scenario.
You can't
4-1 to Liverpool.
It doesn't get worse than that, does
That's
it?
the worst. 4-1 and we win on pens and Mo Salah scores the winning pen to redeem himself for the weekend.
I want to say something outrageous.
Do it. I mean, Chris, I mean, like me and Chris just said, wasn't outrageous.
Yeah,
I've just said Liverpool are going to win 4-1 at the Bernabéu and then win on penalties with the lad who, bear it in mind, and put his penalty in the car park at the weekend.
Milner's on pens tonight.
I mean, he won't be
Is he going to make it that far, though?
He won't be there by
Hang
that
on,
point.
also
According to you.
on that, right, why is Modric absolutely fine to play 90? He's the same age.
Doesn't run as much. Does
Well,
he?
just don't run as much.
I mean, okay, then James Milner is on there for his technical ability, Chris. Yeah, like that sound, yeah.
doesn't
That works for me.
quite as
Right
much.
then, so Dan said what me and Chris said wasn't outrageous, so I can't wait to find out what the
I'm
outrageous
going
is.
to mirror image it from 2 weeks ago, 5-2.
To us.
To us.
Okay, and then what happens?
Oh, we went on pens.
Obs. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we went on pens, yeah. 5-2 in normal time. Nothing happens extra time. Everyone's fucked. And then we went on pens, yeah.
Oh my God, this could be mental. Who knows what is going to happen? Whatever does happen, me and Chris will be live for the Redmen TV watch along. Kickoff is at 8 p.m, which means we'll be live 15 minutes before. So come and join us. Press mute on your telly. Sync up with us. We'll have the full biased commentary. We'll have stats, songs. Use the YouTube chat. Use the Discord chat. You can interact with the show as well. And listen, like I've said numerous times already, if it was anybody else, we wouldn't even be here. If this was Toffee TV, they wouldn't have even bothered turning up. Any other team in the world wouldn't have even bothered. But it's Liverpool. It's Liverpool.
Steve, can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
If it goes to penalties
yeah,
and you've got one sub left,
yeah.
would you consider bringing Keller on?
1,000,000% yes. Not even a question.
Really, would you, yeah?
Yeah, he's well better at saving pens than I
He is, but I'm not.
And are
touching
taking
it.
them.
And he could, yeah,
Oh, no, because Thomas Tuchel did that in the final. Look at him. Like,
yeah, but like Louis van Gaal did it and it worked.
No, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I'm sorry, guys.
I would make. It depends who your pen taker at that point, because who's left on the pitch needs to be considered as well. But yeah, I mean,
Well, you're having Kelleher like ahead of one of the outfield players in the pens.
about 5 of them, I think. I think he's first on. Mo Salah might be last on now.
Yeah, that's a good point,
So
yeah, that's
Keller's taking the first one. So yeah, I would absolutely do it. So yeah, fuck it. It is what it is. Come and join us. Whether we laugh, we cry, we scream, we shout, whatever we do, let's all do it together. Come back and join us in about 35 minutes time for me and Chris for that watch along. We'll see you all then. See you in a bit, everyone.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching that show. Did you know if you go over to redmenplus.com and sign up as a Club Legend subscriber, you will get access to our amazing Discord chat, 20% off merchandise, live tickets every year for free, plus all our incredible content, and you'll get absolutely everything right as it happens. So get over there and do it.